Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Fractal preset that John Mayer used on the studio version of Wild Blue from Sob Rock. We are coming up on the 2-year anniversary of the release of Sob Rock, and right around the time that it was released, I put out a video on this preset, but at the time I had the Fractal FM3 and I didn't have a Silver Sky at the time, so I wanted to kind of do an update video and also just go in depth into this preset and take a look at it and kind of show you what I think maybe he used within that preset to get those different tones on Wild Blue. This is a factory preset, so it's called Studio Clean, and it's based on the Mesa Boogie Triaxis Preamp. It's the USA pre-clean amp model. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at FM9 edits. I have my SE Silver Sky, and it's going to be set to the bridge middle pickup position. We know that John uses this for his live performance. One thing to keep in mind, he did use a Strat for this recording. I think it was a 61 Strat, the Olympic white one that I think he played it on Something Like Olivia on the Ellen DeGeneres show. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the one that he used. But we're going to be using the Silver Sky today just because he's been using that live since it was released. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at FM9 edit right now. Okay, so here is the factory preset. It is called Studio Clean. This is for the FM9, but again, you can use it for all the different units they have available. So what I did was I kind of picked the different blocks that I think he used, because when it pops up for the first scene, it has a pitch block going, and I don't think he used a pitch block. From the magazine article that he was interviewed for, he did mention this preset and that the Axe III is sprinkled around Sob Rock, and he did mention Wild Blue and that they pulled this up and he liked it and he just went with it. And then the solo at the very end was his amps in the studio, but definitely not a pitch block. I think overall for the intro part and the chorus and everything, it's just this signal chain right here. So for the factory settings, I think the treble is set a little bit above 5. It was just a little bit too ice picky for my taste, so I brought it back a little bit. I did bring up the level. It was set around like -14 dB, and then from there I didn't do anything else to the amp block. Cabs, you can see the 4x12 recto and the 4x12 basket weave, and I did set those to ultra res just because, and I don't think I did anything here, but usually what I would do is I'd bring the room level up, but we're going to try to go as close to what John was using as possible. And then here are the settings for the compressor. Now this particular song, it's got a Mark Knopfler type of vibe to it, and there's definitely a little bit of bounce to it, so I would think he would keep the compressor on the whole time, at least for the main riff parts. And then here's the hall, or the concert hall reverb, and I did set to ultra high res just because. So this is the preset. I'm gonna go ahead and play it again. I'm on the bridge middle. So it's definitely has that compressor vibe to it. You can hear the compressor pulling on the notes a little bit, especially on the lower strings. But I really dig this preset. At first I was kind of unsure, but it fits the vibe of this song for sure. Has the bounce. Now, we know that John used the FM9 for an Ed Sheeran performance. This was a couple weeks ago. If you're watching the video, probably July 13th or 14th is when I'll release this. But about a week ago, he played with Ed Sheeran, used the FM9, and the guys at Fractal were saying use the studio clean and then tweak it and add some stuff, but I don't think he used this. Anyway, for the solo, I'm pretty sure, or the first solo, I'm pretty sure it was still on the studio clean setting. Nothing really different, maybe just a little bit of a level bump. But I do hear a little bit of delay in the background. So just for the intro that I did, I set it to a digital stereo to quarter notes and then just barely audible, especially on those bendy parts, you can kind of hear it. And then when there's some pauses, so it's kind of wanted to give it more of a ducking type of vibe to it. So here is what that sounds like. All right, so that's the first solo. I'm not going to even go into the last solo because he used his own amps. Now, this is just a really interesting choice for John to use, but it makes sense in a way too because it's a preamp and something that I'm sure John was trying to convey in Sob Rock is kind of that 80s style, Toto type of feel, 80s session type of vibe to it. So this makes sense because a lot of those guys were using rack units with a preamp in it. So something like a Mesa Boogie or 3 Plus preamp, something like that. So it makes a lot of sense to be able to use something like this. Now, one thing I might do is I would probably change the cabs myself. It is a little bright and I'm more used to the EV type of cab. So these are the ones that I pulled up. The Legacy 106, and this is Leon Todd's Mesa, I think, with a EV in it. And then something I like to do is add a little bit of room. And then that is about it. So let's go ahead and play with that one. And then with the delay. I think overall, this cab choice kind of warms it up a little bit. And obviously you could roll the tone back on your guitar or whatever, do some high and low cuts. But I just am really used to this 4x12 rumble for sure, and love Leon Todd's cab as well. But here it is. This is the studio clean. This is what John used on Wild Blue. Give it a try for yourself, see how you like it, and always make tweaks for your own guitar. Like the Silver Sky, I know it's a little bit higher output for the SE compared to the guitar I usually use, which is my Mike Lowell SX, and it has Lawler Blondes and the Low-Wind Imperial, and it is warmer because I split the humbucker for that number 2 type of position. So they're just different vibes for sure. But hope you enjoyed this video. Go listen to Sob Rock on July 16th. It's the 2-year anniversary, so listen to it, help John out. Great song. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.